Shalom. First and foremost, I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai by Shem Rakakwadash. This is gonna be really quick. It's just a scripture that came to mind when I just saw this comment on a Facebook post that I just saw. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna start off with the Facebook post. Excuse me. Now, this is a post that I want to say a lot of Jake is maybe they not fully accepting to the truth or, walking the way of the truth and whatnot, but they realize something is wrong. There's a problem with our people, especially number one, our women, I think that's the way that the Most High got us as men, through our women, them going off. Men are in many ways led by women. You can find that in the Apocrypha. It tells you how there have been many men that have run out of their wits because of women. Men have to protect women and children and things like that and provide for them and shit. So the same way that the Most High looks at us as his wife, and we went astray and followed other guys and committed spiritual adultery, he got us as the men through our women to where they literally committed physical adultery and spiritual adultery as well. But this is a post that and I saw this and it makes me laugh, but as you can see, I responded like, at the end of the day, it makes me mad too, because this bitch look at this. What the fuck is this? This literally looks like reverse white chicks, or it looks like a transmission. You know what I mean? But I'll just read the comment. It says, yikes. It's just like when you've got some coffee that's too black, which means it's too strong. What do? You integrate it with cream. You make it weak. But if you pour too much cream in it, you won't even know you ever had coffee. It used to be hot. It becomes cool. It used to be strong. It becomes weak. It used to wake you up. Now it puts you to sleep. And, for a while, Jake, man, kind of had this problem in terms of going after Rachel and Becky and Sue and Susan and, Edomite women, which is nothing wrong with having Edomite women. But when you chasing them and trimming your ways to seek love from them and completely giving up who you are and who you're supposed to be for them, that's where you're going off. And it's similar to that, but this is I guess this is Serena, the more popular one, but she looks completely, unrecognizable. You have her as an example. Then if you go down, you got this fucking clown, Sammy Sosa, and this is a real picture. This is real, and this is ridiculous. What the fuck? Oh my God! Now you got this motherfucker looks sick. He looks sick. He looked like he finna die. I could have sworn it was Aaron in Numbers, the 12th chapter, that said, lay not this sin upon us. Let her not come. Let her be not as one who cometh out of the womb half dead. With his flesh half consumed. I'm roughly paraphrasing, and that's what this is. So, off to another topic. You got guys that look like this that want to, who they could still be Northern Kingdom. Ain't nobody taking that away from them. But now they want to pervert the scriptures and make it. They want to whiten it. They want to whitewash it too. They want to light skin wash it. They want to fake Mexicanize it. That's a whole nother topic. You got people who look like this who are incorporating white supremacy into the scriptures. Literally have a portrait of the so-called Last Supper with a bunch of fake Mexicans with tattoos, pale, and what's supposed to be Yahweh Shai in the middle, all right, having the Last Supper. Nobody ain't saying nothing about that, but that's another topic. But just look at that, everybody knows Sammy Sosa. Of course you got, and this is how the Lord got us. When we came back as kids, we were already brainwashed, and even me in my everyday walk, in my everyday life, I still had to check myself sometimes because it's so deeply rooted, that white supremacy, You might look at a certain Jake and, have that evil eye towards him, and he not even on nothing. He just walking past you. He might not even notice you. But you might like, fuck this nigga looking at, and he ain't even looking at you for real, That shit is deeply embedded in us because they got us when we was kids. You can see all the Jake children picking up this fucking Edomite baby. Oh, this the pretty one. This the beautiful one. This the good doll. This the nice doll, But anyways, the one that stuck out to me was, the only solution is separation, which you can find that in Micah 2:10, I think. I'm not gonna get it. But what stuck out to me was when you go to this, and you'll see, you got a couple Jakes in there, But for the most part, you'll see Edomite looking people, all right? And they're laughing at the fact that a Jake is saying the only solution is to separate, And they're laughing at that because Esau is the modern day Pharaoh. This is the modern day Egypt, and he's the modern day Pharaoh. And although they laugh at something like that, they won't actually let us go. If they say, "Oh, you all are black Hamites and Canaanites," well, put us on the ship back or put us on the plane back. They won't let us go because Babylon will not thrive off of Jake. Like if Jake is not here, it will not thrive. When you go in Revelations, it tells you that they sold gifts to one another, all right, slaves and souls of men. That was the Israelites, So I just wanted to bring this scripture out real quick. It's Isaiah 10:20. It says, "And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Lord, the Holy One of Israel, in truth." And, this scripture really sticks out to me because, Esau kind of has double talk. If you don't like the country, we'll leave. But then, they'll laugh if you say that the only solution is separation. They won't make a bill to say, all right, we're going to make a pact with all the African nations to send all these niggas back. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do nothing like that. They made us citizens. When you look at it, we're prisoners of war, for real. Jake that got brought over here and Jake that was already over here, we're prisoners of war. How many of y'all still to this day, for me, it's 32 years later, and I haven't seen my Social Security card in maybe 20 years. I still remember the number off the top of my head, birth certificates, all that shit, We're slaves. We're prisoners of war. We were forced into citizenship, That reminds me of, what is that? Exodus 21:16. Let me get that real quick, and then I'm going to close it. I believe it's 21:16. That's one of my favorite ones because you just can't get around it. Yes, Exodus 21:16. "And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death." And we're still here. This is why, like, I've seen, and I don't want to put a bad light on, all of us, regardless of camps and whatnot. But I've seen where there was an Israelite, there was a man who had multiple wives. They were in his house. He had a baby by one of them. The baby was not in the system. I don't believe it. I believe it didn't have a birth certificate. They did like a natural home birth. It was not bonded to America. It was not in the system. And ultimately, that man, the Israelite man, he ended up deleting his son. It was a son, because he noticed that the son had some zesty ways, I'll just say, some rainbow behaviors, as he was growing up and getting older. So he deleted them. And the police came around because they knew that they had a child, but it still wasn't in the system. Matter of fact, let me get this. And that proves that we're still in his hands, because that baby, the only reason why that man couldn't really get brought up on charges or nothing like that, because that baby was not bonded to the system. All of us, when you come out of the womb, birth certificate, social security number, every last one of us. So in that instance, in that situation, they couldn't really do anything, because how could you prove he had a baby for real? Okay, we saw him. Well, yeah, but he's not in the system. How could you prove that wasn't a hallucination or something? There was no tangible proof. There was no bond on that baby, And I want to get this, because it, like I said, it just proves that we're still in this man's hands from birth. It says, "For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him." And that's the reason why Edomites laugh at a solution being suggested, that we should separate, because they serve themselves off of us still to this day. If you think about it, okay, every American taxpayer, whatever, taxpayer dollars, whatever, America forwards the benefit, all right, or an agenda that benefits so-called white people. So even if you are a black man and, you pay your taxes and you're a law-abiding citizen, whatever, you pay your taxes, that tax money goes to the police force. How do the police treat us? You're still serving your enemy. Your enemy is still serving themselves off of you. Let's go to the, I just want to get that word. Bonds, because it's the same word that we use today. When you talk about stocks and bonds during slavery, that's literally what it was. It was a physical yoke, but at the same time, you can go on Google and research the names of the slaves. They're all Hebrew names, right? That was a paper bond that was proving like, okay, this slave was sold and transacted over here and moved here and sold here. It was a paper bond. So this word is what is it?
Strong's H 4147.
Mawasar.
Moser. And second entry, Moser.
Okay, we already know that's how the devil said. Okay. Mawasar. And it comes from asar, which means to tie, bind, imprison, to tie, bind, to tie, to harness, to bind, to gird, to begin the battle, make attack, obligation of oath. Now, when you're born and your parents sign that birth certificate, they are obligating you to the bankers, to the people who run this society. You are obligated to them. To be imprisoned, to be bound, to be taken prisoner. It says properly, chastisement, a halter, figuratively, all right, a figure of speech, restraint, a band, a bond. And really a band is the same thing, because a band is tied together. It has nothing really to do with instruments. It's everybody in this group, in this band, is doing the same thing. They're moving the same thing. They might be playing different instruments, but they're moving to the same rhythm. They're tied together. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that scripture out, bring those couple of scriptures out real quick, because I thought it was interesting. Like, you can't win for losing as a Jake. They'll say, if you don't like it or leave it, or love it or leave it. Okay. And then you say separate, which it doesn't have to necessarily be, leaving America, leaving Babylon. You just, okay, black owned businesses, whatever, segregating, when you suggest that too, they laugh at it, you know? So you can't win for losing. That's why ultimately the Lord is going to have to do the work. He's going to have to separate us from them, you know? Even if they did just ship us all back to so-called Africa, Hamites, because there are Hamites over there, they're not going to accept us, you know? The scriptures say there yet remaineth a place of rest for the sons of God, roughly paraphrasing. So the Lord's going to do the separating when he come back. I just thought it was interesting that those devils had the reaction, you know?